Hey, my Young and the Restless fans. Yes, we got another crazy episode to talk about. First, Jack and Diane head back to Genoa City. Elena confronts Nate about his relationship with Victoria. And Phyllis and Jeremy Stark plan to rob Diane and Jack. Welcome back to CBS Soap Dish Recap, where we recap everything CBS soaps, both the Young and the Restless and the Bold and the Beautiful. This is your Young and the Restless recap for March 13th, and without any further ado, let's talk about this episode. So let's head over to Newman Media, where we see poor Victoria. She came in looking for her little sweetheart, and Audra told her that he went home to his girlfriend. Now, of course, Victoria is rattled. They got to talking about drawing Tucker away from Devon to get Tucker's company. But you know what, Victoria? You need to let that dream go, because that whole situation is about to be over thanks to Devon. Speaking of Nate, somebody is a little suspicious as we see Elena asking Nate, what's going on between you and Victoria? And he got defensive and act like he doesn't know what she's talking about. Now, that's the thing when two cheaters get together. You can't trust one another. Now, she told him about her conversation with Audra, saying that it's something personal going on between the two of them. Yeah, well, I don't know, Audra. Keep talking. You might be out of a job. However, Nate, he's playing dumb. So now let's swing over to Crimson Lights, where we see Summer telling Kyle that she had a talk with her crazy mom, and she has a feeling that she's not letting this thing go with Diane, and how Phyllis wanted to know where Jack and Diane were. And just a thought, Kyle, did you ever go back for your phone? Anyway, with Diane and Jack at the cabin, Diane and Jack are doing some reading, and he notices that she's been on that same page for a half an hour. And she told him that, you know what, I got a feeling that something is wrong. And she told Jack about that whole strange phone call on the landline and how she think it's Jeremy. Jack said, no way that could be him, but she wants to go home to be with her family. She's trying to be a good mom. So now, speaking of prank calls, we see Phyllis is over at Jeremy's place, telling Jeremy where Jack and Diane are. Now, Phyllis wants to lure them back to town, but said that her family cannot be used as pawns. Phyllis, you know that they're going to get caught in the middle of this hot mess. She, however, wants Jack and Diane to feel that the element of danger is gone. And this is the stupidest plan that I've ever heard. So then Phyllis runs into Summer and Kyle over at Crimson Lights, and she put on her acting face and says that Jeremy is on his way to Paris to look for Jack and Diane. Now, Kyle wants to know, how do you know all of this? And she told Kyle that Jeremy had been trying to enlist her help to get revenge on Diane. Well, that part is true, but she did fail to mention that she is a willing participant. Now, with this information, Kyle is headed off to give a call to Jack, and yeah, his phone is missing. Really? You've been without that phone for a while, Mr. Business Owner. Phyllis all of a sudden handed it to him, and then he took off. Kyle called Jack and told him that Stark is on his way to Paris to look for them. Now, this is going to bite Phyllis in the butt, as we all know. However, after the call, Jack and Diane agreed to come home. Now, however, Summer is still suspicious of her mom, but Phyllis lied once again to her face, like she's been doing for the last several months, and told her that she was more important than any revenge. And Summer was like, well, I hope so. Well, Summer, you're not. When Phyllis is found out, this will destroy her relationship with Summer for a very long time. Phyllis leaves. Kyle returns to tell Summer his parents are on their way back home, and how Stark did get on a plane to Paris, so they think. Now, Summer, however, finds it very odd that Phyllis had Kyle's phone. She found it very convenient and said something just don't add up. The math is not mathing. And she wondered, what if her mom is still working with Jeremy? And I'm glad somebody's able to put two and two together. Lord knows Kyle can't. Kyle claimed it crossed his mind. Oh, yeah, when was that? I mean, seriously. And you know what? They now fear that Jack and Diane are walking into a trap. Now, back over at Newman Media, Nate returns to the office screaming at Audra when he knows darn well she said what was true. She claims all she told Elena was about how in sync they are. And he asks, was that all? And she asked, is there more that I should tell? You know there's more to tell. So now let's head over to the Abbott Estates where we see Jack and Diane made it home and inform Kyle and Summer, guess what? We're engaged. And Kyle and Summer are shocked. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, at their age, they should be able to make decisions pretty quick. They can move it fast along if they want to. However, what is the response going to be? Because they left us with their faces hanging open. So now back over at Stark's, we see Phyllis went back to report to Jeremy that their plan worked. And he now wants Phyllis to break in and steal a couple of personal pieces that belong to Diane. And she is just so dumb. He has her taking all of the risk. What does he plan to do with these pieces? I guess it's supposed to be a setup. Yeah, this is going to blow up royally. So now back over at Crimson Lights, Victoria runs into Elena. And Victoria's like, well, whoa, I thought you were on a sweet little date night with Nate. And Elena was like, yeah, I was a little tired. And instead of going out, we're just going to have some chill time. And I just want to come over and grab a beverage. Then Victoria goes into all these series of questions, trying to probe pretty much the dynamic of the relationship. She's giving out all of these compliments about Nate, and you can tell Elena can see straight through you. Why? Because she did something similar that you're trying to do now. So yeah, she know exactly what you're trying to do, Victoria. So I gotta say Elena is smart because she know what the next move is for Victoria. So she heads over to Newman Media to make sure that she claimed that space that Victoria is trying to fill in, since Victoria thinks that Nate is all alone at the office. She comes by, she surprises Nate, and guess who rings Nate's phone? None other than Victoria, putting a proposition on the table to go have drinks. Unfortunately, her little bubble is burst when she realizes Elena is standing there as Nate decides to spend the rest of the evening with his girlfriend. Okay, so there you have it, your Young and the Restless recap for Monday, March 13th, 2023. Stay tuned for the bold and the beautiful recap also for today. And until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye.